Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Matt. Today I wanted to talk about a more specialized and more highly focused approach when you're learning a language. And I think this can be big, especially if you really want to get over a plateau or you really want to get better at one particular skill. And oftentimes we're spread a little bit too thin with the amount of language learning time that we have available. So maybe we're tackling vocabulary, listening, speaking, and we're kind of gradually improving in all of them, but only at a just kind of a gradual pace. And maybe sometimes that makes sense, and we always want to kind of focus in on all of the areas of the language learning process, right? Whether that's speaking, listening, vocabulary acquisition, but sometimes it really does make sense to kind of specialize into that one thing that we need to improve on, or that one thing that's going to just make us really accelerate in terms of our overall skill level. And I think that for a lot of people, there's this resistance to want to mix things up, right? They're very comfortable with the language learning app that they're using or with their routine. Maybe they do 30 minutes of vocab, they do a little bit of grammar, and they have a conversation, and they just kind of do that week in and week out. And maybe that works and it's fun and it's a good thing. But sometimes, we're in this plateau, we feel like we're not enjoying compelling content, we just want to get to the next skill level, and it makes a lot of sense to just ramp up our vocabulary acquisition or just completely focus in on listening. And this really can be the huge difference maker, to getting over that plateau, to getting that next skill level. And I think it really applies to things even just outside of language learning. So, imagine you want to kind of learn a bunch of different things in life. Maybe you want to learn a musical instrument, you want to learn a language, you want to work on a garden, you want to run a marathon, you want to do all these things, but you only have so much time in a day. And if you try to do all of them at once, you're really slowly, gradually improving at all of them. Versus if you kind of hyper focused in on one of those things, you're going to get better a lot quicker. And the same goes with language learning, right? If we focus in on listening and put a lot of time in, that can really be the big difference maker. And sometimes, when we're learning a language, it's really one skill that we need to work on to kind of get to the compelling content phase or to get to a more advanced level. And I think for some people, it really is listening. It's listening a lot more. And so rather than kind of only dedicating 15 minutes every single day, dedicate 45 minutes, dedicate an hour, really kind of dedicate yourself to really focusing in on that skill that you need to work on. This specialized approach can really be so huge in the end of the day. So when you're learning a language, consider often or sometimes at least specializing in the skills that you really need to work on. It doesn't have to be forever. It can be for a week, a month, multiple months. The idea is to always be analyzing, where you're weak at, where you need to improve or where you want to improve, and just dive in with that specialization aspect, because that can be huge in the end of the day. So this is what I had to say. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.